Okay, so I want to take a day or two to review some of the proportions work. Then we'll go back into our percent proportions. One of the key things that I noticed that a lot of us are struggling with is where to put the numbers. Okay, so I want you to always think about matching. So if you have miles and minutes or miles and hours, you want to put the miles together, meaning that the miles are going to both be in the numerator. Okay. Conversely, you could put them in the denominator, but when we talk about trying to find our rate of speed, we're always talking about per 1 hour. So the hours have to go on the bottom. So when I look at this type of problem, I see that I have 385 miles on 55 gallons. Okay, now this is different. It's not miles and hours, it's miles and gallons. But we're going to look at it the same way. So the question is, how far can you travel? That means miles. So I want to put miles over gallons for both of the fractions. Okay, and the truth is, it wouldn't matter how many fractions you had. If they are in a proportional relationship, then they are going to be the same. All those fractions would all look the same. And that's supposed to be a 385, not whatever it looks like. So there's a 385 over 55. And that will be equal to, again, miles over gallons. Well, the other gallons we have is 23. All right, so we do our cross product now. So I've got an x here. Now some of us are getting mixed up on the cross product. When we multiply 55 times x, we get 55x. And that is the number that we're going to end up dividing by, the 55. Why? Because it's attached to the x by multiplication. We want to solve for x. We want to know what we multiplied by 55 to get the other number. The other number is the result of 385 times 23. So I type that in, 385 times 23 is equal to 8855. Okay, 8,885, or 55 rather. And so now, this is the critical part. We are dividing by the number we're multiplying by. The variable, that is. We're multiplying the variable by 55, so we divide by 55. Both sides. Okay, so I take that and divide by 55, and I find out we get, my calculator has a divot in it, x is equal to 161. So on 23 gallons, I can drive 161 miles. Okay, now that's not your unit rate. Okay, your unit rate is per 1 gallon. So in order to find your unit rate, you'd simply take 385 and divide it by 55. All right, but what we're finding here is how far can we travel? It uses the unit rate, okay? Without us knowing it, it's using the unit rate. If I take 161 and divide it by 23, I get 7. So I can get 7 miles per gallon, okay? And I should be able to do the same with 385 divided by 55, and indeed I get 7, okay? That's the unit rate. That's how many miles we can go in 1 gallon, but we're using 23 gallons, so it's 161 miles. Same idea here. Car travels 200 miles in 4 hours. So now we are talking about miles and hours. We want to know how long it will take us to go 425 miles. So again, we want to make it miles over hours. So I've got 200 over the corresponding number of hours, which is 4, and 425 over x. We don't know how many hours. Okay, we cross multiply. So I get 200x is equal to 425 times 4, 1,700 And then when I divide that by 200, I get 8.5. What is 8.5? How much time? And that's time in hours, 8.5 hours. Okay. So again, we're picking the problem apart and we're trying to find what we want one of. We need to put that unit in the bottom. Okay, whatever it is we want to put one of, we put in the denominator of the fraction. So here we're talking about 40 pounds of potatoes cost $480. Well, normally you'd want to find out how much per pound. So that should be money over the number of pounds, or LB. Okay, so we take the money, 480, and we divide it by 40. 480 divided by 40. Oh, we don't want to divide yet. That would be our unit rate. And instead, we want 28 pounds. We want to know how much would 28 pounds cost. There's my variable. Cross multiply. 40x equals 480 times 28. One, 3, 4, 4, 0. 13,000. Okay, and then we divide that by 40. Excuse me. And we get x is equal to 336. That's $336 for that amount of potatoes. Okay. Again, if I were trying to find just the unit rate, I would take 480 and divide by 40. That tells you how much per 1 pound. So that gives you $12 per pound. That's a lot for potatoes. A car can travel 260 miles. Miles and gallons. How far can it travel on 2 gallons? So it's miles over gallons. So I have 260 over 10 is equal to x over 2. Cross multiply, I get 10x equals, and you don't have to put the, as one of my friends refers to them, the breadsticks in there. You don't have to show that. You just have to know that you're cross multiplying. Cross means you're going across the equal sign and diagonally. Okay, and then 260 times 2 will be 520. And then when I divide both sides by 10, again, whatever number's in front of the variable, that's what you're dividing by. You get x equals 52. So that means 52 miles on 2 gallons. Okay. A boat can travel 231 miles on 33 gallons. How far can it travel on 57 gallons? So again, it's miles over gallons. So I have 231 miles over 33 gallons is equal to x over 57. Okay, the missing part is the number of miles. Cross multiply, 33x equals, so now we take 231 and multiply it by 57, and I get 13,167, and I divide that by 33 because that's the number in front of the x, and I get 399. And you know, this is miles, and so you can tell whether you've gotten the correct, at least close to the correct answer, because if you look at the bottom two numbers, the 33 is smaller than the 57. So logically, the 231 should be smaller than our value for x, and it turned out to be that way. And then finally, the last one, we got 23 pounds of onions that cost $161. How much would 22 pounds cost? So we're looking for the cost. And so we have cost, or dollar amount, over number of pounds, LB. So we have 23 pounds. Whoops, I put that on the top accidentally. So we have 161, the cost, over the 23 pounds. And that means I've got to put the 22 pounds in the bottom. So I get 23x is equal to 161 times 22, which equals 3,542. And I divide that by 23, and I get x equals 154. And again, that's dollars. Okay, so just again a review, your page looks exactly like this.